Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 4, Book 56, number 828. Narrated by Abdullah. Allah's Apostle said, I saw, in a dream, the people assembled in a gathering, and then Abu Bakr got up and drew 1 or 2 buckets of water from a well, but there was weakness in his drawing. May Allah forgive him. Then Umar took the bucket, and in his hands it turned into a very large bucket. I had never seen anyone amongst the people who could draw the water as strongly as Umar, till all the people drank their fill and watered their camels that knelt down there. Volume 4, Book 56, number 829. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. The Jews came to Allah's Apostle and told him that a man and a woman from amongst them had committed illegal sexual intercourse. Allah's Apostle said to them, What do you find in the Torah, Old Testament, about the legal punishment of rajam, stoning? They replied, But we announce their crime and lash them. Abdullah bin Salam said, You are telling a lie. Torah contains the order of rajam. They brought and opened the Torah, and one of them solaced his hand on the verse of rajam and read the verses preceding and following it. Abdullah bin Salam said to him, Lift your hand. When he lifted his hand, the verse of rajam was written there. They said, Muhammad has told the truth. The Torah has the verse of rajam. The Prophet then gave the order that both of them should be stoned to death. Abdullah bin Umar said, I saw the man leaning over the woman to shelter her from the stones. Volume 4, Book 56, number 830. Narrated by Abdullah bin Masud. During the lifetime of the Prophet, the moon was split into 2 parts, and on that the Prophet said, Bear witness to thus. Volume 4, Book 56, number 831. Narrated by Anas. That the Meccan people requested Allah's Apostle to show them a miracle, and so he showed them the splitting of the moon. Volume 4, Book 56, number 832. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The moon was split into 2 parts during the lifetime of the Prophet. Volume 4, Book 56, number 833. Narrated by Anas. Once 2 men from the companions of Allah's Apostle went out of the house of the Prophet on a very dark night. They were accompanied by 2 things that resembled 2 lamps lighting the way in front of them, and when they parted, each of them was accompanied by one of those 2 things, lamps, till they reached their homes. Volume 4, Book 56, number 834. Narrated by Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah. The Prophet said, Some of my followers will remain victorious, and on the right path, till the last day comes, and they will still be victorious. Volume 4, Book 56, number 835. Narrated by Muawiyah. I heard the Prophet saying, A group of people amongst my followers will remain obedient to Allah's orders, and they will not be harmed by anyone who will not help them or who will oppose them, till Allah's order, the last day, comes upon them while they are still on the right path. Volume 4, Book 56, number 836. Narrated by Urwa. That the Prophet gave him 1 dinar so as to buy a sheep for him. Urwa bought 2 sheep for him with the money. Then he sold one of the sheep for 1 dinar, and brought 1 dinar and a sheep to the Prophet. On that, the Prophet invoked Allah to bless him in his deals. So, Urwa used to gain from any deal, even if he bought dust. In another narration, Urwa said, I heard Allah's Apostle saying, There is always goodness in horses till the day of resurrection. The subnarrator added, I saw 70 horses in Urwa's house. Sufyan said, The Prophet asked Urwa to buy a sheep for him as a sacrifice. Volume 4, Book 56, number 837. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Allah's Apostle said, There is always goodness in horses till the day of resurrection. Volume 4, Book 56, number 838. Narrated by Anas. The Prophet said, "There is always goodness in horses." Volume 4, Book 56, number 839. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "A horse may be kept for one of three purposes. For a man it may be a source of reward, for another it may be a means of living, and for a third it may be a burden, a source of committing sins. As for the one for whom it is a source of reward, he is the one who keeps his horse for the sake of jihad in Allah's cause. He ties it with a long rope on a pasture or in a garden. So whatever its rope allows it to eat, will be regarded as good rewardable deeds, for its owner. And if it breaks off its rope and jumps over one or two hillocks, even its dung will be considered amongst his good deeds. And if it passes by a river and drinks water from it, that will be considered as good deeds for his benefit, even if he has had no intention of watering it. A horse is a shelter for the one who keeps it so that he may earn his living honestly and takes it as a refuge to keep him from following illegal ways of gaining money, and does not forget the rights of Allah, i.e. paying the zakat and allowing others to use it for Allah's sake. But a horse is a burden, and a source of committing sins for him who keeps it out of pride and pretense and with the intention of harming the Muslims." The Prophet was asked about donkeys. He replied, "Nothing has been revealed to be concerning him except this comprehensive verse, which covers everything. Then whosoever has done good equal to the weight of an atom, or a small ant, shall see it, its reward. And whosoever has done evil equal to the weight of an atom, or a small ant, shall see it, its punishment." 99.7-8. Volume 4, Book 56, number 840. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's apostle reached Khaybar in the early morning, and the people of Khaybar came out with their spades, and when they saw the Prophet they said, "Muhammad and his army," and returned hurriedly to take refuge in the fort. The Prophet raised his hands and said, "Allah is greater. Khaybar is ruined. If we approach a nation, then miserable is the mourning of those who are warned." Volume 4, Book 56, number 841. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. I said, "O Allah's Apostle, I hear many narrations from you but I forget them." He said, "Spread your covering sheet." I spread my sheet and he moved both his hands as if scooping something and emptied them in the sheet and said, "Wrap it." I wrapped it round my body, and since then I have never forgotten a single hadith.